guys! Hi everyone! So I decided to do a different kind of create along. I guess a create along of something that is like super easy. If you like this, let me know. If you're like, I only want to see the good stuff or the complicated stuff, let me know. I'm still probably going to do what I want. Today I am going to be making 2 circle skirts for myself and my friend and 3 necktie bow type things. So what is this for? This is for Hamacon Idols, which is a idol cosplay dance cover group that I'm in. This year we're doing Aqua and A-Rise. I'm in Aqua. I'm Mari. And so of course that means I'm in Guilty Kiss, and we are doing subunit songs. So for our subunit songs, we wanted to do something a little different because we're doing like the Azora Jumping Hearts set as our group set, and we were like, it doesn't really fit with Guilty Kiss. Our plan is to have purple circle skirts and these purple necktie bow things, and then wear white button-up shirts and then some version of white socks. We also wanted to keep it kind of light and bright because the curtain on the stage is all black and we didn't want to do dark colors. Kind of keeping it white and then purple, and then this shiny purple spandexy fabric, which I didn't want to work with because for many reasons, but I think it'll be okay. I won't have to put a zipper or anything in the waistband because I could just stretch on, and I could just put interfacing into the bow so that it'll hold its shape. We'll see what happens. Let's get started. I already started cutting out my circle skirt. As you can see, the fabric is folded in half one way and then folded in half again, blah blah blah. I made this for a 29-inch like waist. I'll do natural waist, which is 28 inches, but I decided I wanted to sit a little bit lower, so I went with 29 inches waist size. I'm kind of just like doing this very lazily, so if it doesn't fit perfectly, I'm not that worried about it. I started cutting this with these scissors, which I like to use because they're very comfortable and they're light. They don't hurt my hand. I have a pair of forged scissors, but they're very heavy and after a while they hurt my hand. But for some reason this fabric does not like these scissors. I know these probably need to be sharpened, but it's still like, it just hates it. So I'm using my forged scissors. I forgot to say that the length of this is 18 inches. It should end up being about 18 inches finished once you add on the waistband, which is going to be 3 inches folded in half, plus a ½ inch seam allowance. I'm back again, still talking about this. So when I do like circle skirts, I like to cut a little nick out of these sections right here. Just like a little V, ends up being a V cut, so that each quarter of the skirt kind of already has a mark on it, and that'll just make it easier for me to evenly distribute it onto the waistband. I just cut out the other skirt and it was easier with these scissors, so I don't know. This fabric is just, it's just weird. I think whatever the coating is makes it kind of difficult to cut. Yeah, so just use whatever scissors you have. Or maybe cutting it in one layer will be easier. Okay, let's call this bonus footage or a little extra. I got this shirt to wear for our costumes, and as you can see, I already ripped this ribbon off, but of course this is not going to work out. So when I was at the store and I saw this, the first thing I did was look on the inside to see how this is attached, because sometimes ribbon might be covering a seam or, you know, like sewn into a seam or something like that. This one is just plopped right on top of it, so it is very easy to take out. Seam ripped it off of here. I can probably wash it to try to get that crease out and those holes from the stitching, but I'll probably just like run over it with the iron a little bit and that should work too. Here is my waistband, just one strip of fabric, and then I just sewed the seam here. So then I just folded it in half like this, and then I cut 2 little nicks out of both of these sides, and then I kind of just, so then I put that kind of in the middle of the seam, and then did the same thing on the sides. So now it is like kind of marked in quarters, so I can attach the skirt to the waistband very easily. Is the waistband folded in half with the wrong sides together. Now I'm just going to go along the raw edge and baste it together. Then I will pin the waistband to the skirt. I have the waistbands pinned on to the skirt like this. So this is the folded in half waistband. So then when it's done, it'll kind of look like that. I'll probably just trim down the seam allowance and then just leave it raw like this. It's not gonna fray because it's a spandex fabric. So, and then this is Bailey's skirt. I'm not gonna hem it because I wasn't sure about the length. She wanted it kind of long, but it might be too long for her. So I was like, well, I'll make it the length that you want and then, you know, try it on and then I'll hem it. Okay, so I'm gonna pop a picture right here. I forgot to take footage of it, but this is the skirt after I kind of sewed it together before I hemmed it. I didn't like the length. I felt like it hung like too flat or too limp. And that's partially because of the length, and I knew that hemming it would give it a little bit more volume, but I wasn't too happy with it. And then the waistband ended up being too big because I knew that I should have took it in like 4 inches because it's stretch fabric, and if I wanted it to stay where it needed to be on my waist, I needed to take in the waistband a lot more, but I didn't because I suck. I added elastic to the waistband, so now it sits at my natural waist, but I can also wear it lower if I need to. And then I took, I believe, 1 inch off the hem and then hemmed it up 1 1/4 inches. That was a pain because it's a circle, but yeah, so I like how it is. I wish it was fluffier, but that's okay. I knew this would happen with stretch fabrics. For the bows, I did a couple of trials. I'll throw in some pictures there. But I kind of looked at a couple of tutorials that kind of were the size that I thought the bow might be to kind of give me a good starting point. This one ended up being too small. I really like the size of this part of this bow, the bigger part, but then I liked how this was folded over, which is usually how I make my bows instead of just sewing 2 pieces of fabric together. So I kind of mixed these 2 together and then of course made it shaped how I wanted it to be. Here are the finished bows. Pop in a little picture of me holding it to my body, but I like this size. I'll also pop in the picture that I was basing the bows off of, so you know I didn't mention that. We decided to go with this kind of big neck bow, guess. I don't know what to call it. The dimensions of the bow was 18 inches by 8 inches. And then the dimensions of the tie was 18 by 4.5 because those were put together 2 pieces back to back, sewn around the edges, flipped right side out. The bow part was made, if you go to like my easy DIY bow, that's kind of how I made that one. Super fast, super easy. That's how I made the bow knot, which was 3 by 4 inches. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm still behind on a lot of stuff. So I'm like, ah. So on the back, I slipped in one of these pins. Of course, I can sew it on if I wanted to, but I was like, that's okay. Or you can even hot glue it on. These bows are kind of loose in here, so this is a separate piece, and the bow is slid in there, and the ties are slid in there too, so it could be taken apart, put back together. I love to do my bows like this, have them like movable, because if you need to iron it, you can take it apart and iron it flat and then stick it back in there. But also I was just like, well, if they want it to be set, they can just pop some hot glue in there or something. That kind of concludes this create along or watch me make. I thought I might call it watch me make or something else, because I feel like a create along is you making this with me, and you're not necessarily making it with me, you're just watching me do it. So I don't know, I might keep create along. Right now I'll include some pictures of us at the show. I don't know if we'll be able to take pictures not on stage or what, but I'll just pop those in here. Hopefully you see those, because this is in the future. This is like 2 weeks before Hamacon that I'm recording this. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.